so excited to have not only my friend, but Coach Bekah here with us today to really share some of her journey, not only as a client, but now as a coach, and be able to, speak into you, that all of you that are listening. Bekah's actually, we are Skyping live, kinda, I guess. We're recording, but we're live right now and she's in Chicago, beautiful city of Chicago. So if we have any fuzziness, y'all understand. Lots of buildings and stuff going on there. But Bekah came to us. How long ago, Bekah? I can't remember.
Almost a year, October. So it was October that I came.
And yeah, almost a year, and she's already coaching and already on to goodness, her second generation. She's had some graduate, I think, or almost.
Not quite. Yes, getting close.
Getting close already. So welcome, Bekah. It is so good to have you with us today. Hey, Bekah, I know how wonderful you are, but our listeners don't, not yet, unless they're your coach, your clients, and your friends, which I know are going to listen to this. But go ahead and share a little bit of yourself, and so that they can get to know you a little bit too.
Okay. Yeah, I graduated with Grace and Strength back in February, and I'm from Chicago. My family and I live in Chicago. My husband works here in the city, and I have 5 children ranging between 13 and 2. So I love family. I'm crafty. I love a good cup of coffee, and I enjoy people, and I love seeing God do miracles in people, and he has done one in my own life, and now I'm excited to be a part of something that can pass that on to someone else. So yeah, that's a little about me.
Yes, awesome. Bekah, tell us how you first found out about Grace and Strength lifestyle, and how long has it been, since you began your journey and completed it?
Okay. I heard about Grace and Strength actually through the Facebook page. A friend of mine was blogging her journey, and I was just following her, and the pounds were melting off weekly, and I was just following her journey, and finally I had the nerve to Facebook her actually and say, what in the world is going on, and how are you losing all this weight? And she pointed me towards Grace and Strength, and from there I inquired. A gal called me back, and I had a consult. I told her about who I was, a little bit just about my journey. I have yo-yoed with dieting for, oh goodness, since I've had my babies, and have tried every weight loss plan out there, and have had some success. If I ate right and cut things out, I lost weight. That's the scientific fact of that. However, there was still something so broken inside, because I never had the tools to really have my mind and my heart change. And so I was at a very broken place when I reached out to Grace and Strength. My brother had just died from a tragic heart attack. He was 29 years old, and he had heart disease and never knew it. And at that point when that happened, it was a halt in my life. It was a wake-up call for me, but at the same time, I was in such grief. I gained a good 20 pounds just through that grief of just eating to stuff and to numb that pain. And at the point when I called Grace and Strength, I was at a place where I knew I needed God to intervene, because I had 5 children. I had life to live. I'm in my 30s. This can't happen to me like it happened to my brother, and I needed change. And so I was at a place where time felt like it was running out, and I had to make a change.
That's awesome. I'm like, just so listening, I'm like, okay, now where do I go? That's beautiful, though. I mean, of who you were before,
But it's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's life, and life is hard, and things happen, but we can make a change, and we can make a difference. But there's an element that we need help. And at what point did I just need to reach out and get help? So that's how I inquired with Grace and Strength. I heard about it through Facebook, actually. So
awesome. The power of media, we love it.
Yes,
we love that.
amazing.
We can live our life out loud, and well, sometimes
Yeah.
on there. But yeah, I mean, gosh, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram now. fun
Yes.
things that we're on. It's really, really fun. Hey, Becca, tell me about, I mean, I know your story is very powerful, like what part of what you just said and things that you have gone through and how God's met you and helped you along the way. Um, but you know, some women feel like, yeah, but you really haven't gone through as bad as I have, you know, and you really haven't, you know, they maybe don't, they maybe think they're alone, you know, in what they're struggling with. And so sometimes it just helps to be, like you just said, real, and you are very real. You are just authentic and true to definitely who you are, even if you're animated, which we love.
That I
That's
do. I am an
we
animated.
love him. That's what he's nicknamed her. She's like a cartoon. She's so cute, and she is. uh, but like, what were some of your struggles that you dealt with, maybe on a daily basis, maybe not, you know, internal and maybe even physically that could help somebody that life before, you know, your healthy
Sure.
journey.
You know, Cindy, I think the things that were the day to day were the hardest. Um, I didn't want to go to the mall because I didn't want to walk by mirrors. It might sound incredibly shallow, but that's where I was. Um, I get I get choked up when I think about the fact that I didn't take pictures with my kids. Um, I held the camera. That was my excuse. Was, oh, I'm taking the pictures. So I have all of this um, documentation of my life with my husband and the kids, but I wasn't in any of the pictures because deep down I didn't like how I looked. I didn't want to be in pictures. It sounds um, like not very big reasons, but it's how I felt from day to day. And it was those reasons that I knew I had to do something about this because truly in all elements the enemy was stealing so much of my life and I was standing by allowing him to do it. That's what was happening.
A struggle, which I think many, many women can relate to. I'm that mom, or I should say, was that mom on the other side of the camera, and at times too. I mean, it creeps back in us, you know. So
Oh, sure.
we all, it's a walk, and it's a journey. But yeah,
Yes.
I think there's a lot of moms out there too that are, like you say, behind the camera, or just their head in, or just this, you know, and
Right.
that's just not freedom. So thanks
No.
for sharing that. Um, I was going to ask you about your why. And for people listening, you might not know what we do when we first register a brand new client. We email you one of the lots of information, but one of them is a question, and we ask you what your why is. And what that why is because we don't want you losing weight for just a number on the scale or a size, because that is not going to hold water when the truth of this all comes out. Because, um, you know, that I think Becca just said, you know, we can, the science of losing weight, you will lose weight, but that's a given. So what's different? You know, when that temptation comes in whatever form that looks like, whether it be food, whether it be an emotional stress situation, whatever, boredom, whatever makes you want to go to food, that why has got to be so strong that it's going to stop you in your tracks. And I know a lot of us um, struggle with that. We don't really know when we have to think about it, because I know from feedback, some people go, wow, that's really hard to have to answer. And I've actually sent some of my clients back to them and said, that's not strong enough. I'm going to tell you right now, you know, that
Mm.
that is not going to hold it. But that's okay if it's theirs, and they can work on along their journey. And sometimes whys even change. Um, so that just gives you an idea of what a why is. So Becca, if you could just share with the audience, what was your why?
Okay. In fact, I'm going to read it to you
Sure.
because I wrote it down and I memorized it, but I think there's something about also having it in written form. I put this all over. I put it in my car. I put it next to my mirror. I put it in places so that I could see it. And this is also what I tell my clients because I want them to be. I want them to have a why that is strong enough, like you said, to stand on its own 2 feet when it gets hard. And that's so important. So let me read it to you. This is what my why was. And this is what I wrote back in October. And I really believe that God has given me freedom in these areas. And it's exciting, the miracle that God has done in my own heart. But this is what I wrote back in October of last year. I'm tired of living in defeat, insecurities, and comparing myself to others. I fear the future because of my poor choices. I want to truly live. I want to be at a place where I can give out of wholeness and to be confident around my families and those around me. I want to be a life-giving example and point others to the living God who has dreams for them. And then even just boil it down to one sentence that I memorized was, I wanted God to heal my broken places so that I can truly live life to the full. Because bottom line, I wasn't living life. I was not living life to what God intended for my life to be. Now, I was still me,
Right.
but at the same time, I was not living full. I was not living life to the full. And I wanted to start dreaming again. I had stopped dreaming in a lot of things. So that was my why. And like I said, I had it everywhere.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is. And you know what I picked up on there when you said in there you wanted to help others to be able to live free as well. And obviously the day you started, you did probably never thought that you would be coaching and do that.
No, but that was my heart desire even back then, was to be life-giving in everything that I was doing so that my children would have a mom that was whole, that the people around me would see that I am giving out of a life that is whole. And I knew I was so broken. And so here God now, a year later, has just healed so many of those places. And it's exciting. It's exciting going forward.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, with that, obviously you said you've experienced a lot of freedom in those areas that your why was. And so share with us a little bit about the journey to that freedom. What did that look for you? You know, look like for you as you were, those transformations were happening along the journey.
Okay. It's not easy. I'm going to be honest. And I say that to all of they're my friends. They truly are my friends, my girls that are on my team. It's hard, and it's doing the hard with the accountability and people around me walking it with me. That was such a huge part of my journey, was truly my coach, that journeyed the hard days with me, that encouraged me, that was praying for me. It was the moments of strong discipline where I had to dig deep and walk away from pizza. As sad as that sounds, but I was in tears. I remember one time walking to the bathroom in tears, and at that moment I was like, God, why is this so driving me? Why do I want this so bad? And it forced me to look inward and have to just start peeling back the onions of my heart and saying, God, there are some things that need to come out so that I truly can be free. And I have to yield this and surrender these desires and these cravings and all of these things that were so holding me back, that I had placed as my own idols around me in a lot of ways. And so moving forward, having that accountability was amazing. I could not have done this journey without the accountability. I could not have done this journey without the relationships that I built just within my own team, because there were other people that were doing exactly what I was doing, struggling with the exact same things, having the same passions to want to be whole and be free from this pit. And yeah, so a little bit of walking forward in that was the hard, but also just the freedom that it brought. I was able to start running again. Because guess what? It's easier to run when you have 65 pounds off of you. I am playing with my kids. I'm running around the playground with them, where before I would just sit and drink my coffee. Little things like that, where I feel like God has given me those pieces back in my life that I've so been desiring, and I didn't even know or realize were missing. Did that answer that
Yes,
question?
yes, yes, it did. In some, it was
Okay.
good. No, it
Right.
is. This isn't scripted, as we know. You know what?
Right.
It's
Right. Right.
whatever comes out of our heart. Um, you answered a little bit of this, but like, in what ways has your life changed now as a result of your new lifestyle, from how you did life then to now?
Absolutely. I will say that just within my home, my life has changed. The foods that we eat has changed as a family. The fact that we look at things from the standpoint of things that are life-giving to our food, not just what we eat, but the things that we say, the words that the words that I say to my children, the thoughts that I think, all of those things, saying, okay, God, I want you to allow these things to be life-giving in all that I say and do. And so just within my home, that has changed. My relationship with my husband has changed because I feel like in a lot of ways I'm more confident. And not that I'm still me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still the part of Bekah that was always there. But at the same time, there is a part of me that is more alive than I ever have. And in that, it makes me even more alive to my spouse from the standpoint of who I am as a person, because God has redeemed that side of me again. Yeah.
that's so
So,
precious. That is so precious. That is so the heart of who we are.
yeah,
Like,
it is. And it's the desire of our
it
hearts.
is.
Truly, truly is.
And I don't think that there's any woman on here listening that, doesn't already know that this is a Christian ministry. So, and that is, the
Right.
vision going forward. Um, I mean, the vision in a whole is, meeting women where they're at, and, to help them to break those strongholds and the bondages of weight and everything that that means. And to each and every one of us, it's a little bit different. And as we do that, we do get strengthened. And, that's why we're called the grace and strength. It's by His grace and His strength. I hear it all the time. It's like, Cindy, I can't do this. I just can't do this. Like, this is hard. You don't understand. I don't have any willpower. And I'm like, oh, I understand. And you're right. You can't. But it's only by His grace every day
Right.
and His strength. And you will do it. And we won't
Right.
quit on you. So, girl, we're dragging you through. No. Through
That's
the mud.
right. That's right.
Um,
Right.
Becca, what would you say to those that are listening today that are on the fence? They're skeptical, they're hesitant, they have that, expectancy of hope, but they just don't think that this is really going to work for them like it did for everybody else. Just they failed so many times, and they just, the enemy's talking to them, if you will, and they're just on that fence. What would you say to them?
Okay. Well, City, I'm going to talk to them right now. I know I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to them. And I think what I want to say is I wish I could just pull you into my living room right here and hear your story. Because who you are and what God has allowed in your life until now has created that, has created you. And it doesn't your history doesn't define you, but your history is your story. And God wants to use your story to bring Him glory, period. And I think what I really want to say to you is it's time. It's time to stop giving the enemy territory. It is time to give the reins back to God and say, this is yours. I can't do this alone. I need you. And and just enter into this trusting that He knows what's best for you. And stop allowing Him to steal that those moments of taking pictures with your kids, those moments of not wanting to go shopping, those moments of just feeling so insecure that you don't even know what to wear today, so you're just not going out of the house. It's time. Make a difference now, and ask the Lord to just give you the strength to do this, because there are people there that want to help. We want to help. I want to help you. My heart is burdened for you because Jesus died for you to have freedom. And for you to live in bondage is not freedom. And it's available. And this is an area that has stolen far too many people and put them into a pit. And it we have to claim it back. Bottom line, we have to claim it back, and we have to make a choice. You are worth it. You are worth the time. You are worth the expense. You are worth the investment because God says you're worth it. And you need this, just like I needed this. And yeah, it's freedom. It's about freedom. And he died for our freedom. So we need to seize it back and surrender those areas that we have given to the enemy far too long.
Okay, now you're making me cry. So I know they're receiving because I'm like, okay, but that's
well, but you know too. You've been there. I mean, we know we've been there. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like we can end it because, like, ladies, that is who we are. Thank you, Bekah. It's beautiful. Okay. So, anyways, maybe Jeremy will edit this. Maybe he will. I don't know. He doesn't need to because this is us, everybody.
It is. It's us. It's us. And this is grace and strength, and this is what we want to do. This is how we want to help. But we can't make you do this. This is your journey, and this is God bringing this across your path, just like he brought it across my path, and he's providing a way, and he will continue to provide a way.
Absolutely.
He will.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll continue with now that you've graduated and been graduating and are coaching, and obviously you're considered an alumni, if you will, but you're also a coach / alumni. And just for those of you listening to, Bekah is heading up our alumni group, and we are so excited, so excited. We have our official launch. It's going to be an online party launch, September 9th at 7:30 Central. It's going to be great fun. Come join us, listen to what it's all about. We've got a promo going on right now that you can pre-register and so on. But I'm going to have Bekah just kind of speak to the alumni here of what does it look like to continue on, because some of them they're in phase 2, they're in phase 4, they're just finishing up, and there's so much more afterwards. How do we keep our weight off? How do we grow in the things that we've learned? What advice would you give them? How would you speak to the alumni?
Absolutely. I think for me, one of the great things that I have needed is still accountability, still a group of people that I can go to and say, man, vacation was hard, or, ooh, I, had a hard week. So how do I just kind of refocus? And yet at the same time having a place where they can encourage me to say, go back to your healer. Remember, he freed you. Don't go back to that pit. And just that place of encouragement, because I've needed that. And I know CBM for me has been a place of encouragement and continually pointing me to the cross and pointing me to my healer. And so we need that. Not only that and exercise. And there's so many things that we need encouragement on. A place to say, hey, there's this race here, go sign up, or here's some recipes, or hey, let's just be praying for each other because it's the summertime or it's the holidays. I think the alumni group is going to offer that, and I'm excited about it. I'm passionate about helping women continue to walk forward. And so it's not enough to just get out of your pit. The desire is to walk in freedom. And so how do we walk in freedom from our pit? And I think that is just as much a part of grace and strength as the initial phase of losing the weight.
Absolutely. And I think with us women too, it'll be a place too that we'll have guest speakers come on. We'll have, women who are leaders and, speaking to our marriages and some fun stuff too, because that changes, the dynamics can, like we said, just with that extra confidence, it's positive. But sometimes, there's a lot of things that we'll walk through. And you mentioned exercising, like so many women, like you said, didn't exercise before. They didn't.
Right.
The stamina, the breath, that extra, some 100 and some pounds. We've had one woman lose now almost 300 pounds. She couldn't run if she wanted to. And now they can. We have people doing marathons and triathlons and mud runs and, oh my goodness, body.
Amazing. And I'm not there. So don't feel like you have to be there. I'm not at the marathon level
Not
yet.
even, oh, well, the 5K one.
Yeah, that's right. But it's baby steps.
That's
That's what it's
huge.
about. It's a place for encouragement. It's a place to say, these are baby steps. Do it. We'll be your biggest fans. We'll be your biggest cheerleaders. So I think that's important to have every step.
Yeah, and they'll all get there. So we'll learn exercise stuff, nutrition stuff, just real life
Yes.
things of how to walk this out and grow deeper in it, and get more and more educated.
And how do I teach my family? How do I implement this to my kids? How do I make these changes and they won't hate me? All of these things. It's huge. It's huge. But it's nice to have a place to journey together with.
Right. And we do have a lot of answers for that. Man, our girls are creative in the
Yes, yes.
cooking. And I mean, who knew that you could make, really clean pizza with cottage cheese and tomatoes and spices? I
Yes.
mean, it's delicious. And who knew that you could stuff a zucchini and it tastes like lasagna? I'm like, really?
Right.
I would have loved.
Right.
And anybody that knows my husband he does not like vegetables. He doesn't even think they should have been invented. Uh, and we didn't fool
Love it.
him, but he'll eat it. So that's
Right.
good.
That's right.
So yes,
It's all
I'm
good.
enjoying
It's the
that.
tips. We need the tips walking
Yeah,
forward.
so it'll be fun. Becca, let's go to your coaching.
Okay.
Why did you decide to become a Grace and Strength coach? And I added this to the list. What does being a coach at Grace and Strength mean to you?
Okay. For me, coaching with Grace and Strength, um, I I never in a million years a year ago thought I would be here. I never thought that this would be a desire of my heart a year ago. I feel like in a lot of ways I was created to do this, to help women. For me, I help women in this place of bondage seek their healer, and that's what it's about. And I feel like in a lot of ways I have to. He has changed me. He has done a miracle in me, and because of that I now get the opportunity to pass it on. That's what Jesus says in the New Testament. He says, if you have had change, and you've had struggle, only so that you can now help those that are in it currently. That was me. And so, yeah, the opportunities that I'm now getting with Grace and Strength, and the women that I'm meeting, and I'm truly doing life with them. I'm not just their coach; they're my friends, and I feel like I'm doing life with them, because guess what? I'm kind of sitting at the dinner table with them a lot of the nights, and I mean different things like that. And so I'm doing life with these women, and to me that's the beauty. I feel like I am gaining so much from being a coach. My girls are losing and gaining Jesus at the same time, and I get to gain spiritually just by watching what God is doing in their lives. So that's what I am gaining. And like I said, I never in a million years a year ago thought I would be here, and this has been a gift from God, truly a gift.
Oh, such a blessing. It's true. I find they bless us more than we bless them. The testimonies we read every day. And for all of you watching, we have part of our program is we have a private Facebook wall. So the Facebook wall you see that we have is public, that is just posted. But the intimate details, if you will, and sharing recipes and all that kind of stuff. But the intimate details and praying for each other and just encouraging each other, and every day, it goes on in private walls, which you won't be a part of
Yes.
when you join us. But I read that stuff, every day, and you feel like I'm coming to know them, and I don't coach them. I just get to be on all my girls' walls, which I just love.
Right.
But yeah, they don't realize that how much, we could be struggling personally in an area, and we read something that they wrote or said, and we are blessed, you know, I think more than they
Absolutely.
are, or preparing the lessons for them. God just starts, we're thinking we're giving to them, and he's speaking right to our heart, and we're just being fed
Absolutely.
by preparing. So he's meeting both of us, So kind of with that, um, Becca, I didn't forget your name. And all you women are going to know, if you have daughters, I go through all three names before I get to the right one. And now that I have all these women
Absolutely.
coaches, they've become daughters to me, and I go through sometimes, I do though.
And which one are you?
Which one are you?
It's okay. I have 5,
Yes,
remember?
that's right.
So I'm
you
good.
would remember. Um, but what we were talking about was experiences basically with the coach that you and I both get to experience on a daily basis. What's one experience maybe that you felt but you never thought would ever, you didn't expect as a result of being a coach?
That is something that, as a coach, I never expected. Truly the love I am having for my girls. I I am praying over these girls every day, and God is just growing my heart for them. I am rejoicing with their successes, and I'm doing the happy dance when they're doing the happy dance, and I'm grieving when they go through hard things, and I'm studying their cycles and how things are working with them, and I think what I didn't expect was how much I really would fall in love with my girls. I have just truly created relationships and friends.
Hey, Becca, what would you say to anyone who's considering becoming a certified Grace and Strength Lifestyle coach? As you know, we have, as one of our not only coaches, but the one who does consultations when they contact us, we have so much need, for growth. And our vision is to grow and to expand and to meet every woman that would want to change and want this freedom to be able to accommodate them. And with that, that means we have to have more coaches, and we know that God's sending in the right ones. We get requests almost daily, actually. But, what would it look like? I mean, what would you say to somebody who is considering to become a certified Grace and Sin lifestyle coach?
Absolutely. Um, get ready. I'm telling you. That's what I would say, because God is going to change you. And He's going to give you a heart for people like you've never had. And He's going to give you a love for people like you've never had. Because you're truly entering into a very, very raw place in individuals' lives that are trusting you and that are really wanting help. And so I think that's a place where you have to continually be asking the Lord to humble yourself, to be at a place of, okay, God, I want to learn from them. I want to hear from you. So to be at a place where your hands are open saying, okay, God, I want to learn. I want to be at a place where you're growing me and teaching me so that I can truly give to these people and to these individuals from a place of love and compassion, and truly want to see them succeed. And so I think it's a lot of inward searching in that to see if you're able to do that. And then also recognizing, am I strong enough to do this? Can I be that coach and say, okay, no, you cannot do this. Or yes, we're going to be your biggest fans, but guess what? You don't get to do this right now. So you have to have that firm but loving support system. And so if that is you, you have taken interest in our program, you've gone through it, to be asking the Lord if this is something that you would be seeking and would want to do, because He will give this to you if this is a desire of your heart.
Thank you, thank you. That's great. That's awesome. We're all led. We're led of Him, and He will lead you and open the door at the right time. That's for sure. Well, thank you, Becca, so much for being with us today. You know I love you. You're beautiful in every way. You're such a blessing to us, the ministry, your girls. If you watching out there, she gets me chills. I don't know. This is an anointed call. It's true. I'm just like, okay. But for you watching, if you would love to have Becca as your coach, contact us. Go to our website. It's www.graceandstrengthlifestyle.com, and make sure on there, that's where you press the contact, and then give us your information, and either Becca herself or one of our other consultants. But on there, I want you to use, if you would like Becca as your coach, use the promo code Becca, and that is BEKAH. So I better spell that. It's a little.
That's right.
That's BEKAH, and she'll get back to you just as quick as she can, and be ready to, like she said, hear your story and meet you where you're at and get you on your way to freedom.
And just come as you are.
Yeah.
Just come as you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be all fixed. You don't have to have a routine in place. You don't have to be exercising regularly. Just come as you are, and we want to help.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Becca. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was fun to do this.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, girl. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.